It's time for Wrestling for the Culture, where we take a look inside to see what the wrestlers of color have been doing this week. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Wrestling for the Culture. I am back. This is your host, Brian H. Waters of the Wrestling Realm. So, it's Mother's Day. So before we get into this week's show, we got to give a special shout out. To just quite a few mothers that are very close and dear to me, obviously. So first I'm going to start with my wife, Nakia. Shout out to her. Happy Mother's Day to her. She is the mother of my children. So got to start right there. Without her, I wouldn't have any kids. But then I'm going to give a special shout out to my mom, because if it wasn't for her, I would be here. Now you might say, why you put your wife before your mom? My mother would have told me, you better say your wife first before you say me. But then also a special shout out to my additional mother. You guys know, obviously I've mentioned her here before, played drums in a gospel group. So shout out to my add-on mom, the one and only Miss Linda Williams. And then, of course, I got to give a special shout out to a lady who has been like another mother to me since 2011, my co-host mom, the real Dwayne Allen's mother. So gotta give a special shout out to her. Happy Mother's Day to them, as well as all of my closest friends and relatives. And for the moms that's watching this show, happy Mother's Day to you too. So let's get right into it, folks. Wrestling for the Culture. Of course, we're going to start with our WWE Champion. I told you, I'm going to be honest, Kofi Kingston will remain on the cover as long as he's the champ. It's been a long time since we've had a black champion, him being The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, since 2013. So we're going to relish this moment. So, the covers, obviously, they switch, but Kofi's going to stay there. I'm telling y'all that right now. But Kofi Kingston, before we get into what he did this week, it was revealed this past week that he will be taking a trip to Ghana. If you looked at his Instagram page, you would see that said the WWE Champion is coming to Ghana. So, to me, what I read is, I'm hoping, and I know we could be looking a lot into stuff. I don't really go into the what's going to happen, as far as this is how it should be booked, this is how it shouldn't be booked. But I'm going to say that I believe that Kofi Kingston will walk out of Money in the Bank next week, still your WWE Champion. And because I believe that, that is why I think Kofi is going to go to Ghana, his hometown, still the champion. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm watching the NBA Eastern Conference semifinals, and Kawhi Leonard just hit the game-winning shot. I'm not going to roll the sound, because if I do, then, this YouTube video could get popped. That's why you see me just kind of looking at the TV. I'm a sports fan as well. I'm not excited about what just happened, because I was rooting for Philadelphia, but I saw the ball go up. I saw Kawhi shoot, and it rimmed, it bounced. You probably will see it by now, and then boom, it went in. So, in this moment, I feel bad for Philly, but, they didn't shoot the ball enough. All right, that's enough of my basketball analyst. Back to the WWE. Kofi Kingston will go to Ghana. Hopefully, still your WWE champion. How cool would it be? It would just be great, right? So let's get into this week. So Vince McMahon implemented this new wild card thing, this new wild card rule, where wrestlers can go from Raw, SmackDown to Raw. Now, here's the thing, right? I took a week off. I'm going to be transparent, fully transparent. There was no Break It Down with Brian H., no Wrestling for the Culture. Part of that was because I just wasn't feeling wrestling. Rather than get on here and complain, there's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of that stuff. There's just no need for me to do that. Instead, just take a break. Sometimes you just got to take a break from the product. But, I watched Raw this past week. I saw Kofi Kingston on there. The main event was Kofi defeating Daniel Bryan in a rematch of WrestleMania 35. Now, what does that mean? So you got Seth Rollins, who's the champion. People wanted Seth Rollins. Seth had to beat Brock. And he's not doing that much better, to be honest with you. That did Kofi, the man, the WWE champion, the black man, Kofi Kingston, had to come onto SmackDown, from SmackDown onto Raw to defend the title in the main event. So, but yeah, he successfully defended the title. And then he went back to SmackDown and had to defeat AJ Styles and Sami Zayn in a triple threat match in another WWE Championship match. So, Kofi Kingston's being that fighting champion that we want to see. And next week, he will go into Money in the Bank and defend it against Kevin Owens. Also on Raw, Ricochet defeated Robert Roode, getting his win back. Then we saw, we talked about AJ Styles earlier. AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, they had some issues. They wanted to fight. Vince McMahon said, no, you're going to team up. And what happened? It was Lashley and Baron Corbin defeating Rollins and AJ Styles, especially when AJ Styles walked away. So, congratulations. So, first, before we get into this, congratulations. Shout out to Bianca Belair defeating Mia Yim this past week on NXT. But then, congratulations to her as she graduated from the University of Tennessee. So she is the EST, and in this case, you could say the smartest in NXT. So congratulations to Bianca Belair. So, Big E, have you been paying attention to his Twitter? He's been funny. So this past week, obviously, he's injured. Well, he's sidelined due to injury. But Becky Lynch posted a picture of her mom. Big E said something like, scratch that. It was back and forth, but the funny part was if you were looking on YouTube, the screenshot, to scratch that, I would lay my whole body in a puddle so Mama Lynch could walk across me. And then Becky goes, she's married. Send that message. She said message her on her burner phone. So, and those two went back and forth a little bit. So I just thought that was very interesting. Big E just being Big E. And then if you was paying attention on Mother's Day, he put out a tweet that said, pretty much reply with all y'all mamas. So, Big E doing Big E things. So let's move on. Congratulations to Brandi Rhodes. She is now in the up-and-coming edition of Muscle and Fitness magazine. So congratulations to her. We've seen wrestlers like Charlotte Flair in there, but most of them was under the WWE umbrella. So but to see Brandi Rhodes going into AEW with them getting ready to get started, being able to be in a high-profile magazine just shows how cool this is. So, moving on. We got new tag team champions, or I should say 2019 Zarbra Cup winners and the new Nova tag team champions, the Lady Killers. Congratulations to them. Calvin Tankman retained his WTF championship, defeating Shane Mercer and Anthony Totale. And then we move on. Let's go on over to Shine in a tag team lumberjill match. Rainbow Bright, that is Gabby Gilbert and Luscious Latasha, successfully retained their tag titles, defeating Holy Dead and Thunder Rosa, the Twisted Sisters, in the main event. And then going to Victory Pro Wrestling. They had their show, The Queen of New York, but their champion, the one and only Miss Ariela Nyx, retained her title after defeating Anastasia Morningstar. So congratulations to Ariela Nyx, always a proud supporter of the wrestling realm and wrestling for the culture. So shout out to her getting it done. So congratulations to her. So now it's time for Black Gold, brought to you by the Black Wrestling Alliance, where you can go follow them on Instagram at Simply Black Wrestling Alliance. So, where are we starting? We're going to start off with Aja Pereira, who became the first ever Primos Wrestling Women's Champion. So congratulations to Aja Pereira, just doing her thing here lately on the independent wrestling scene. And then we had Grit of, Syndicate's tag team, Grit, Montana Black and TJ Boss, becoming the new Fest Wrestling Tag Team Champions. So congratulations to them. Syndicate, put Keith Mack on. Put the Mac on, Syndicate. Come on now. Moving on. Osiris becomes the new IWE Live Wire Champion. And then last but not least, Foxy Calvin Campbell wins the NCW Ox Baker Cup with an opportunity to cash in for the NCW Championship. So that is brought to you by the Black Wrestling Alliance. Brought to you, like I said, follow him on Instagram, Dazzle. That's my dude over there. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. See all the stuff he posts. He posts a lot of good stuff. He does all the graphics. Does a one-man band over there. Just figure out a way to put all the all the wrestlers of color on. So congratulations to him. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Wrestling for the Culture. You know where to find me, at Brian H. Waters. Make sure you follow the Wrestling Realm on Twitter at Simply Wrestling Realm. Till the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. Happy Mother's Day. So long, everybody. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Wrestling for the Culture. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe down below, and make sure you check out other content brought to you by myself and the real Dwayne Allen.